Well, we're back for another in-depth reading from this incredible autobiographical story written by the very funny Robert Webb. I've been getting a lot of good insight from this book, so I hope that this reading tonight will be interesting, encouraging, thought-provoking, and fun, as usual. But first, before I get into the book, I wanted to share a scripture with all of you. I super chatted it on the JLP show this morning. It came into my head first thing when I got out of bed. It was repeating in my mind, so I thought, let's put it on and share it with others. And that thing. You know, since I'm here too, let's share it with all of you. It's a really beautiful scripture. Give us something to think about. So we're in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 26. And these are reminders of God's promises. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not 26. Is it 28? No. What is it? Hi, Danny P. I don't ignore the chat. What do you mean? Hi, modern gentlemen. It is late. Well, for you, but as you can see, the sun's still out where I am, so it's not too late here. I won't be on past 9 o'clock tonight, though. Dang, I'm upset. What? Oh, that's it. It's Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36. I'm like, what was that scripture? I was thinking it was 26. Yeah, these are God's blessings and promises. The renewal of Israel. But you have to understand, Israel isn't a place, it's the people of God. I'm going to read from 24 through 28. For I will take you from among the nations, gather you out of all countries, and bring you into your own land. Then I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be clean. I will cleanse you from all your filthiness and from all your idols. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I will take the heart of stone out of your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you will keep my judgments and do them. Then you shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers. You shall be my people, and I will be your God. Now, ain't that the truth? Amen. Hi, Chris. Danny P, Modern Gentleman, and Chris. Jeez, I wonder who else is here. Let's see what this alert was from my computer. Don't need to worry about that. I don't want to install that. How about that? Am I right or am I right? Who's in control here, me or you, computer? All right. Let's get into Robert Webb. How Not to Be a Boy. Let's learn, or right now we're getting into the second section of the book, which is how to be a man, or how not to be a man. Let's just open up and see what it is exactly. And my wrists are killing me today, I have to say. Oof, both of them. Everything I've lifted has been just such a chore. Like, anyway. All right. So yeah. This is apparently the second act where we're talking about men, what men are like. Chapter 10 is Men Don't Take Themselves Too Seriously. The opening quote, he started every chapter with a quote, and I love this because he's quoting my favorite band, Suede. The lyric is, "So we are a boy, we are a girl," from the song Moving by Suede. Especially when Suede first came out, they had a lot of androgynous lyrics, and the lead singer came out as bisexual, which he has since recanted. But they have a drummer that's also gay, so they were kind of playing with a lot of that with their debut album, and in their kind of like, actually, I would say through most of their early career. I think now they've matured into kind of a dad band. But anyway, I'm sure you all want to hear about Suede. I did do a video going to see them if you're interested here on the channel. It was a fun vlog of me taking a quick trip up to Seattle to see my favorite band, who I've never seen before that time. It was a very special moment. And I saw them at the Neptune Theater. They were touring with the Manic Street Preachers, which is also a band I've loved since I was a teenager. So it was a good night. I met some cool people. Met a Serbian man and a Venezuelan woman who were a married couple with a newborn at home, and they hired a babysitter to come out to see Suede. And they were talking about, most of the people there were older than me, so but they were talking about being into them when they were teenagers. And I was like, oh yeah, I got into Suede when I was a teenager too. But yeah, they were kind of big in the early 90s. So, but they're still making music that's very interesting, and I love them, and I always will. You know, they've been an important part of my life. You know, I love music. Well, anyway, that's enough of my fangirling. But I guess Robert Webb is a Suede fan too, which makes sense. All right. Music is very important to me, says Phil quietly. We all nod at the simple truth of this and watch Phil gently readjust his glasses and take a sip of his peppermint tea. I'm beginning to hate Phil. There are 6 of us sitting around on the floor of his room, and he's just put on a Nina Simone album. Not a best of, a proper one. Am I right or am I right? I remember one time at my old job, I used to come up with daily like questions of the day, and it became like a big thing for our customers, you know, customer engagement. They'd be like, what's the question of the day, right? And one time it was, what's your favorite album? And that was fun. I got to be judgmental with people. But I remember a number of like middle-aged men gave me answers that were like best of albums. And I was just like, ugh. I was so judgmental about that. Like more judgmental than if it was a band I didn't like. You know what I mean? It was like, really? John Denver's Greatest Hits. Okay, dude, that's not an album. All right, that's not a proper album. That's not what I asked you. God, I'd be saying that to them too. It was fun times. And it wasn't. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times, really. Well, anyway, enough reminiscing, right? But yeah, that just popped in my head. I've heard Nina Simone. Wait, hold up. Let's see. It's the second night of Freshers Week, and we've been going round each other's rooms, playing our very favorite music to each other. After Phil's room, it's my turn next, and I can feel the panic taking hold. I drain the can of Foster's that I've been carrying around. This is the first time I've heard Nina Simone, and I'm instantly ashamed that I've never heard that amazing voice before. Everyone else is talking about Nina like she's an old mate. So far, I've learned that every one of their parents is a teacher, academic, or a writer. All 10 parents are seemingly all still married. I've just turned 20. With my September birthday and my unmissable third year sixth form, it feels like I'm 2 years late to the party and also 2 years underprepared. I just wondered if he was a Libra or a Virgo. I'm leaning towards Libra. What do you all think? Is Robert a Libra or a Virgo? See, because they're both kind of bisexual signs, if I'm real. Word of the day. Oh, yeah. Like on Pee-wee's Playhouse. And hello to our baby Yoda. And Batman is here, too. Hello to everyone. I want to look this up. Robert Webb's birthday. September 29th. That's a Libra. He's 51. Oh, that's a nice picture of him. Wikipedia article is nice on him. Well, anyway, enough distraction. It feels like I'm 2 years late to the party and also 2 years underprepared. What the hell am I going to play then? Michael Jackson? At least he's, okay, he isn't really black anymore, but oh, why haven't I got any Jackson 5? At least I could say, of course he's a joke now, but I quite like his early stuff. I love Michael Jackson. I don't know, Yoda. I left right after that. I don't know if Hake responded or not, but yeah, what I saw when I was there was good. I don't know if there was any response or any back and forth. I've known a number of I don't know. Libras just have that natural charm. You know what I mean? They can charm anyone they want to. It's one of those signs. And they're kind of quietly powerful. They usually end up in positions of leadership, just like all cardinal signs do. It's natural for them to kind of take the lead. But I don't know what to say about all of that, Yoda. Really, let's not get off topic too much with that, but shout out to the heterosexual Libras too. But you know what I mean? Yeah, they're all very, they're natural. It's, I don't know, interesting. Why am I going off about astrology? It's so dumb. But you know what I mean? I do think there's something to it at the same time. It's one of those things where I'm don't put it before God, no. But I do think that we get born when we do for certain reasons, and I do think there's some sort of influence from the environment. Why wouldn't the season you're born in say something about your life? I think it does. And you have to think when humans were more based on the land, before the Industrial Revolution, when we were more in tune with that, it had to have an even greater impact. The time of year you were born would have a great impact on the way your life would go. Hi, sweetheart. And there would be times where there would be more babies than others, and there would be babies that would struggle, like winter babies. Born in the heart of winter are going to have a very different experience than those born in the height of summer, right? Well, anyway. Hi, baby. And anyway, I wanted to ask, who likes Michael Jackson? I love Michael Jackson, honestly. Who doesn't? Hi, sweetheart. You're so purring. I could say, of course, he's a joke now, but I quite like his early stuff. But no, that's no good because his early stuff sold millions of records. He did his early stuff when he was tiny. He could dance like James Brown before he could read. No one else seems to think this is cool. No, I won't be inviting them to my room to give them a recital of Thriller. Phil and I are the only boys. There's a tiny, just a subtle feeling of competition. Of course, that's not coming from Phil. Phil isn't like that. Phil has traveled extensively in Thailand, and he's already offered to cook everyone a Thai meal next week just as soon as he can find a shop around here that could sell him a decent wok. I ask genuinely, what do you mean, a non-stick one? And Phil gives me a look of infinite patience and says no. We get to my room and everyone finds somewhere to sit. Julie, a calm presence with watchful and watchable brown eyes. Oh, he already has a crush. Watchful and watchable brown eyes. I wonder if my eyes are watchful and watchable. Your first words are beat it. I know. I loved Michael Jackson when I was a little kid too. Like, he was such a big deal to me. He was so lovely, I thought. Hi, what are you doing? You're being, oh, what you doing? You've been getting attention all day. This whole day been about you. Really. Woo, hey. Woo. Ooh. Dude, come on. No, we're not doing that right now. We're not doing that right now. Come on. No. No. You don't be bossy with me, you bossy brat. Bossy baby boy. Excuse me. We're having a kitten interlude. Sweetheart. No, what? Why? Sweetie. Yeah, shout out to Toucan. He's like, you're going to hold me, woman, and you're going to pet me. And that's just what's going to happen. All right, we're having a cat-based interlude. I really want to get to Robert's thing, y'all. I'm sorry, but, there is a whole world happening, the whole life here. And there's another person present. Hi, sweetheart. Good cat. His auntie came by today and helped us. It was very nice of her. And he could have been, did you even give her a kiss? I don't even think you gave her a kiss, you little brat. He's very alpha. He's alpha, as I say. Robert's thing. And for Robert watching on catch up, I'm so sorry. He hasn't commented yet. Maybe he'll comment at the end once it's all uploaded. Maybe he'll give me a copyright strike. I feel like this constitutes fair use. Press 1 if you think this constitutes fair use, my reading these books. Hi, sweetie. Oh my goodness, look at that tail. That's a nice tail. I could get all that too. What a good cat. Yeah, Robert, are you in the chat? Is it energy drinks? No. Oh, you're so purring. Oh my goodness. Where do you get all this alpha energy? The Joe question. I mean, I said, I left right after you. I think you posted one thing to Hake after I said that it would be better for you to do it, and then Hake shows up in the chat, ever watchful like the hawk he is. But yeah, I turned off the stream. Yeah, I don't think he ran. I think he was watching the whole thing. Are you kidding? He didn't. So, but he didn't respond. You mean? Yeah, I don't think he ran. He don't miss a thing. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he wants to talk about it. He's not the type to talk about that anyway. He probably just taking it in, you know? And that's that's enough, you know? He's a grown man. Yeah. He can chat. You know, you've done your part. You can only do so much, Yoda. You can't. And I'm sure, you know, there's Joe fans out there. There's people who enjoy those calls. I don't know. It's on multiple platforms. I don't know, Yoda. I'm not even going to respond to that. What kind of question is that? Who doesn't like being flirted with? I mean, I don't know. If I were a guy, I'd probably be uncomfortable with it a bit. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, I really don't think it's even that. He's also very, I don't know. Fred says he's very sheltered in some ways. And I don't think he's naive. No. Modern Gentleman is talking about Joe from Phoenix. This is enough of this. I don't want you to gossip about this. But I mean, I agree. Joe gets weird on the calls sometimes, and he comes across rather, fruity. You know what I mean? He just, he giggles, and this is weird, you know. And it's like, is this a creepy satanic giggle or kind of gay giggle or both? You know, but I don't know. Yeah, he does have serious mama energy. I mean, there's all kinds of things about him that are kind of like, ooh. I don't know. But I don't want to be hateful towards Joe either, because he's just another person out in the world, you know, dealing with hell in him and in others. And he has to overcome just like everyone else does. And he's clearly drawn to this realm for whatever reason. And he just hopes that enough of the light gets into him that he'll one day wake up. But I don't know. It's also, I don't know. There's something about him that seems maybe not real too. But is it, I don't know, maybe we all are that way. The guy is zesty as a mug and pretending he isn't. Yeah, it gives me, yeah. Well, I don't know. JLP has taken his call before on the like, when was it? It was after the debate. He had like both Mark and Joe on, which is weird. I get enough of them. Poor Hake has to deal with them. Okay, baby. You gonna let me move do? You gonna let me move do? I mean, I don't doubt that Joe is married to a white woman. I mean, but I got the feeling like once she came home recently on a call and he was like, oh, my wife is home early. And I was like, are you not supposed to be on the phone with Hake? And I'm like, has his wife yelled at him for calling in? I could just imagine some sort of situation like that in my mind where I'm like, she's like, oh, I know you're not calling into the Hake report again, are you, Joe? And he's like, no, babe, no. I don't know. I don't even know if he's real, to be honest. I still have that kind of like when I'm sitting and thinking about it. I don't know. The goats are real. I heard the goats. Yeah, Chris, why don't you gossip with us? Wouldn't that be good? I understand that, Yoda. But again, like you've said your piece, you've done what you can. You know, don't you turn into a mama. You're gonna have to be Mama Yoda. Mama Baby Yoda. Or wait. Baby Mama Yoda. It was only like 20 minutes. Oh, goodness. I like Baby Mama Yoda, though. If I ever create a like sock account, it'll be something like that. Then you guys will know it's me. I'll have to get like that little image, of Jessie as the tar baby, but like give it a pregnant belly. What do y'all think? Pregnant belly, maybe a cigarette hanging out the mouth. What do you think? Something classy, What else do baby mamas do? Maybe some fake nails. I don't know. Are you asking me that, Yoda, or Chris? I don't know that I want to respond to that. Good God. Hello, Christ Conquers, and hello, Irish Repub 84. Nice to have you both here. We were having an interlude for about 10 minutes. I am only on the second page, so don't worry. There's plenty of book, and I'm going to dive back into it since, I don't know, I'm done gossiping. Oh, no, Christ Conquerors, you missed. It was a whole thing. There was a whole thing. It's not about baby mothers. I don't worry about baby mothers too much. I mean, I worry about the culture, I worry about women thinking that that's acceptable, I was talking with a younger woman recently, and she was saying, she's got a lot of, I don't know, she's got her finances really together, for her age, and she's doing well. I should probably learn from her about some of her investments, honestly, but she's doing very well for herself as a single woman, and she wants children. And she was like, well, like, why don't I just have a kid? And I'm like, because, a kid deserves both its parents. You know what I mean? So, all right. Good night, modern gentlemen. I mean, my response to her was that, even if things don't, she's giving kind of like, most marriages don't work out, this and that. And I'm like, well, even if, you do divorce, you should at least try to do things the correct way for your kids' sake. Even if you do divorce, and yes, that's a big trauma for children, at least you can look back and say, I tried to give my kids the right thing. You know what I mean? Like, of course things happen in life. There are no guarantees. But I don't know. It's just, and it gets into that selfishness. People think that it's selfish to not have kids, and yeah, it is to a certain degree, but it's also sometimes selfish to have them. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are out here breeding very selfishly and not really thinking about what's best for the child. I don't think she's a low-class woman at all. She has a lot. She just is influenced by the culture. And, she hasn't done it. She listened to the advice. I wasn't the only older woman around to talk to her about that, And there were women older than me as well that were kind of just, talking her through why that wasn't a good idea. But I'm like, for me, I just think, sure, you can have a child that way, but like, why would you rob your children of having a father? Why would you turn the father into this absent referent? The culture is low class. Christ conquers. Oh dear. Yeah, he's been shouting court out a lot. Yoda's been very generous with the shout outs for our dear court. I don't know why. Court just is his current target. Don't bring me into it, Yoda. I did not make it. It was you. I just left. You test your material out on me, and if I laugh, then then he takes it mainstream. I think that's his tactic. Hello, Samuel. All right, let's get back to Lovely Robert's lovely book. I didn't see that, Yoda. I didn't see that, so I can't attest to that. I'm sure you talked him into admitting that, though, in your trolly way. Oh, Christ Conquers is now. Oh dear. Okay. What am I to do? What am I to do? Okay. Julie, a calm presence with watchful and watchable brown eyes, notes the giant Laurel and Hardy poster. My dad likes Laurel and Hardy. That wasn't quite the effect I was hoping for, but at least she's being nice. The poster isn't intended for a group anyway. It's there for someone like Julie on her own with me. It's supposed to say, hey, look, Julie, I don't take myself too seriously. This is a friendly room, so relax. I'm no trouble. So if that's all cool, you could probably take your clothes off. That, at least, is the idea. Okay. Do boys do this? Do boys decorate their homes with these kind of posters to elicit some kind of response in women like this? Is this a thing? I haven't even been conscious of it. I'm like trying to think if any of the men I've dated have had any I don't know, not really. I don't know that any of them were that decorative at all. Even to have a poster. Well, I don't know. A bit, but it was like nerdy boy things that I didn't understand. Okay, so let's see. Phil is giving the poster his own brand of critical attention. They're great, aren't they? He says, although I much prefer Buster Keaton. Of course you do, Phil. Of course you prefer Buster Keaton. All wankers prefer Buster Keaton. They don't for a second find him funnier than Laurel and Hardy. But they prefer him. They prefer his work. But Phil isn't finished. When was the shot taken? The what? Sorry? The shot, he explains, as if to a child, the photograph they made the poster from. It suddenly occurs to me that I don't have to play by Phil's rules. Fuck knows, Phil, from a film? The one with the piano? Most of the films are about them moving a piano, aren't they? I like the general chuckle, but something is wrong. I've taken off my jumper to reveal what was once a gray t-shirt, but which last summer I cut into the shape of a gray vest. My longish hair has grown much faster at the back, so I look less like a foppish public schoolboy and more like a mullet-wielding footballer. The gold stud in my left ear that was daringly effeminate in Woodhall Spa now feels weirdly aggressive, as do my Doc Martens boots, and the box of condoms visible from within the bedside cupboard left artfully ajar. Ooh, Rob is like a bit of rough here at the college. Isn't this funny? Before the women gay up the home. Women make a house a home, and you know that, Christ Conquers. You can call it gay if you will. Posters are not lame. I have some posters. I'm quite fond of my posters. Hello, my Fruit of the Spirit poster. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. What's lame about that? Oh, right. Nothing. And welcome to the chat, see. Yoda, that's disgusting. Don't be disgusting. Come on. I can't believe what I'm reading. Good God. It's a French thing, right? Isn't it? I've heard that's a French thing. Yes, I know. Christ conquers. Help me, Christ conquers. I mean, I believe he might have said it. I didn't read it, Yoda. I didn't see it. So I can't confirm your mess. I'm sorry. The French are all kinds of messed up. I have a friend who said that she would date, like, the French are like the last type of men she will date. Like, she put all of the other like Europeans before the French. It was like hilarious. And she had some choice things to say about them. I mean, it's not just a French thing, obviously, but I think they're known for that being a very common thing. Oh, I believe you, Yoda, but I did not see it. I don't see everything that happens in the chat. I haven't even seen everything happening in the chat tonight. Well, I don't know about that either. I haven't even heard anything about that, Yoda. I cannot confirm ever hearing anything like that about them. I don't know why that. I didn't even know that was a thing until like recently. And I'm just like, ugh, it just is gross. That's so gross. I can't even. Ugh. Okay. This summer spent painting all 94 of the Dower House window frames has, for the first time, given me some muscle definition in my arms and shoulders. But did I have to wear a vest? And why next to the Laurel and Hardy poster? Is there a page of A4 on which I've written Je suis un communiste? Excuse me, Je suis un communiste in chunky hip hop writing? Why, within hours of arriving at Cambridge, did I make a sign that said Je suis un communiste in chunky hip hop writing and put it up on the wall? That is embarrassing. Oh, Yoda, please. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the chats. Good to have you. More urgently, why am I about to play them in excess? The new can of Foster's is already light in my hand as I scan the song list on the back of the CD. In a crowded field, I find the most tuneless and bombastic, Guns in the Sky. I place it carefully in the vertically loading CD player. Julie, Faye, Suki, and Colette all do versions of an indulgent smile when they hear Michael Hutchence shouting along into the introduction. Guns in the Sky, I don't remember how it starts, so excuse me. I've heard this song, I've heard the album, but yeah. Ooh, ha, ha. Yeah, sorry, I don't remember how it goes. I'm gonna have to listen to that song again, Guns in the Sky. I take a seat next to the speaker and cross one skinny leg over the other, leaving a 16-hole boot quite close to Phil's face. So I recross my legs while unobtrusively lighting a cigarette with a Zippo that Will gave me as a going-away present. I'm not the only smoker here, but I'm the only smoker not making a roll-up. To listen to Faye talk about manufactured bags, you'd think rolling tobacco was some kind of health food. There's some desultory chat during which Phil stares at a section of carpet in front of him, looking quite upset. It's like Michael Hutchence is actually hurting him. I love that he put on an In Excess album. I'm thinking he put on Kick. Is Guns in the Sky an album by them? Let me look up their discography. Now I'm all interested, In Excess discography. I feel like it's a song on Kick. Yeah, okay, yeah, it must have been Kick. Yeah, Guns in the Sky does start out kick. Okay, I was right. Yeah, that's that big album that has like all those songs. New Sensation, Devil Inside, Need You Tonight, Never Tear Us Apart, Mystify. A lot of hits on that album. I do like the album. It's fun. I think it's fun that he put this album on. I would have enjoyed it. You know, being a girl anyway. I think I could understand why Phil didn't like it. Terry, are you still watching and enjoying Bond? Of course. Yeah, I do. I do. You're off put. I'm sorry. I know, Yoda. What are you off put by what? The level of banter in the chat, I know. Come on, guys. Can you guys, like, other chatters, be present, maybe drown out some of Yoda's filthiness? Yoda, please desist. You've said this enough today. Yes, we all love court. Oh, hi, Missy Mud. Thank you. I hope you're well too. I know. I'll try to pop into one of your streams soon. I missed the past two, even though I was intending to view them, but I'm getting caught up in work, and then there's other streams I watch in the morning too. So it's just kind of, ugh. I'm sorry to see that he ended up that way. What way? Court's doing okay. He's talking about Robert being zesty. Who is? The court is one of us. But someone talking that way has to be off somehow. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Yoda drug it out of him as well. Like, don't. Yoda's a mesmerist. He can get people to admit things or say things they weren't intending to say, which is why Hake ignores him. With good reason. He doesn't want to get drugged into any mess. Missing Maud is another YouTuber. She runs a stream. She's a Christian woman. She often has on different guests. She draws a lot of like atheists and non-atheists to her channel. It's kind of interesting. So sometimes those kind of conversations happen. And why is she not a mod? Well, I don't have many mods. I'm usually not on YouTube to actually mod anyone. Mod missing mod. I would if I were on YouTube. I'm not, though. I'm streaming from another platform. I can't mod anyone. If somebody, if anything, let me know if something needs to get off. But I try to watch the chat as much as I can, Shout out to Court Green. We love Court Green. He's one of us. Okay, back to the book, y'all. We got to hear about young Robert and his In Excess album, playing it for the girls, and his little rivalry with Phil, and how his, anyway, yeah. Everyone notices, but Julie takes a cheerful interest. You all right, Phil? You look a bit glum. Glum. I'm starting to really like Julie. Excuse me. I'm starting to really like Julie. Phil says it's silly. I'm being silly. We all exchange glances the way we've seen grown-ups exchange glances in films. Phil waits for some encouragement. What's up, says Julie. It's okay. We're all complete strangers, and we'll probably never speak to each other again for the next 3 years. I like this and join in. Yes, you can tell us, Phil. We've all forgotten your name already. Phil gives this a brave little nod, and then, it's really dumb. It's just this band, the singer, Michael Hutchence. It's just our family pet. Our cat passed away a few months ago, and I haven't really got over it. Was it in a band, I ask? He was called Michael, Phil replies evenly. My upper and lower lips disappear into my closed mouth, and I hold them there, trying to find somewhere. in the room where it might be safe to look. The ceiling is as good a place as any. I sense Phil defiantly searching everyone's face for signs of mirth or satire, but I'm damned if he's getting it from me. I think maybe if I frown as well as keep my mouth like this, it will look like contrition or sympathy rather than what it really is. A thin disguise for an overwhelming urge to laugh my guts up. I know it's just a cat, continues Phil, but it was also losing a member of the family. I get up quite suddenly and start stepping over people in the direction of the bathroom. Julie catches the look on my face. Somebody else has asked how Michael died, and as I leave the room, I hear Phil say, just old age, really. The vet said cancer. In the bathroom, my abdomen contracts and bends me double, but not with laughter. I straighten up and blow my nose, look in the mirror, and try to reason this out. It's not Phil's fault. Phil is annoying, but he's only 18 and middle class. God, I know. It was so rough for me dealing with these type of people, too, when I was younger. That's a good idea, Missing Mod. That's a very good idea. I feel that way too, Yoda. I'd rather be in charge of my channel more. And I have had people like accidentally delete things they didn't mean to, like, that I've modded. I know. Well, anyway. Don't bully him. He doesn't know. None of them know. This would be the wrong time to tell them because it would look bitter. Bitter about Phil's reaction to the demise of a cat. Don't do it. They're in your room. They're guests. Keep it together. Be a man. Oh, Robert. By the time I get back, the conversation has moved up a gear, and now they're talking about how tough it is to lose a grandmother. I think I'm doing pretty well not saying anything. Jesus, this must have been hell for poor Robert. There again, there might be something about the way I light my next cigarette with a violent flip of the Zippo that suggests a change in mood. And maybe I didn't need to stab the stop button on the CD player quite so abruptly. And maybe I should stop looking at my watch. And maybe despite how brilliantly I'm handling the situation, people are starting to look uncomfortable. It's quite late, and they should probably make a move. That's what they start to say anyway, and I agree with a mumbled yeah while I start to unlace my boots. They see themselves out, and I hear Julie whisper something to the others at the door. She's still on the inside when it closes. She comes over. Right then, she said. She sits in front of me and takes her time, looking from my earring to my hair to my shoulders and then into my eyes. Finally, she says, with you, it wasn't a cat, was it? After college, Julie took a job in marketing, which she didn't much enjoy. So she was more than happy to give it up and become a full-time mom to the 3 children she had with her devoted husband, Phil. Her relationship with me was less of a big deal, lasting as it did that gentle night and the night after. Does he really need to put that in the book? I hope he changed the names. I wonder. Now I'm a little bit uncomfortable, honestly. Like, why would you put something like that in your book? Not everybody needs to know you slept with another man's wife years ago. Like, is this like, I'm just wondering about this. Like, did they all know? It's called a tell-all book, Terri. I didn't think it was one of those Christ Conquerors. I thought it was a smart, sophisticated autobiography. I didn't think it was a tell-all. I am quite disturbed. Robert, I mean, I'm disappointed, I suppose. I don't think it's, is it even real though? I mean, is it just him pretending that, I'm sure he was, like I said, he was an attractive man. He's still somewhat attractive. He's still handsome, I would say. Like, he probably had no problem pulling. I mean, it sounds like he had problems pulling to a certain degree, but like, I'm sure being 20, being more fit than some of the other young men at the school, I'm sure going to college was probably easier for him than scoring in his hometown, let's just say. Anyway, let's move on. For one of the less formal colleges, Robinson sure knew how to give me the willies. The willies, noun, sensation of fear, located in the genitals. See also the fannies, or the vulva tumbles. Sensation of fear located in the genitals. I haven't heard of the fannies or the willies. Have anybody in the chat heard of the willies or the fannies? I don't know that that's true yet. I don't know that it's that much or not. We don't know. We haven't really gotten into his. It sounds like he's at this point only had one interaction with a man. And who knows? I mean, I'm wondering too, like, was he molested at any point? This is a tell-all book, but like, with men, I often see that. So I just wonder, I don't know. Like, what isn't he telling us? Monkey pops. Are we allowed to say that on YouTube? Are we allowed to say those words? Or should we call it the M-pox? M-pops. The king of pops. Sounds like a cereal. Okay. On the first day, there was a matriculation photography and ceremony. This involved wearing an undergraduate gown over my one and only suit. The suit was a hand-me-down from Dad's dad, Ron, and at least it fitted me quite well, even if it was from the 60s and pale blue. If that sounds rather dapper, it wasn't, not in 1992. Stripy, flared lapels from the 70s, yes. The square-cut powder blue polyester, no. I begin to feel like I'm the unwilling star of a comic strip presents film called The Boy Who Thought He Was a Ponce, but turned out to be a yob. I followed the others into the main hall, where I'm immediately hijacked by the choice of sweet or dry sherry. I've never even tried sherry before, and go for the dry one, as I assume that's a sophisticated choice. Then, having swallowed a mouthful of paraffin, I start to try and make friends with the other freshers. My throat is a bit dry or something, I don't know. Moving around the hall and having found a cup of tea instead, I glance out of the window and check that the clouds are still clouds and the trees are still trees. Yes, this is still recognizably Britain. I have a cup of tea now. I like tea. Everything's fine. Hello there. So where do you hail from? I've attached myself to a group of freshers, the wrong group. The question comes from a tall boy with chalky white skin and bright red cheeks. He sounds like he was at Eton and looks like he's driven directly from there with his head out of the window. From Lincolnshire, I say, a couple of little villages in Lincolnshire. Lincolnshire, the posh youth replies, rolling the word around his massive mouth like it's a novelty wine gum. Tremendously flat, Lincolnshire, isn't that so? That's right, I manage, although Lincoln itself is quite hilly. Oh, God. Fascinating. Lincoln itself is quite hilly. Fascinating. Actually, he isn't taking the piss. He's just doing his best with what I've given him. I hear myself saying, I mean, it's the flatness that makes it good for arable farming, as well as the quality of the soil, although we have quite a lot of sheep. Why didn't I just kill myself? Why didn't I just kill myself in the bungalow when I had the chance? The tall boy says with a naughty grin, You don't roger the sheep, do you? Only on Thursdays. Oh dear, not Atlanta. Monkey Pops. Oh, what a funny man. It's so funny when he struggles with words sometimes. Okay. He gives me a startled look and then lets out the kind of laugh that would embarrass Brian Blessed. Only on Thursdays, he said. Oh, you're tonic. I'm Noel. What's your name? Robert, or Rob. Which do you prefer, Rob? Rob. Well, Rob it is then. And what an extraordinary suit, Rob. Intrusively, Noel slightly parts my gown to get a better look at the polyester sex dream. It's my dad's, actually. It was his dad's, but... And who is your dad, Rob? Sorry, who is your father? Who is he? He's called Paul. Paul Webb. Noel casts his eyes to the ceiling in concentration. Paul Webb. No, sorry. There's a moment where I wonder if I'm supposed to accept his apology for never having heard of my father. And what does he do? Does he have an occupation, Rob? Fucking hell, can I go now? Yes, well, he used to be a woodsman, but now he's a gangmaster. He's a what? He hires and organizes groups of laborers to pick fruit and vegetables from farms, from fields and farms, from farm fields, essentially. Noel is looking at me as if I'm the most exotic creature he's ever encountered. I take advantage of his moment of helplessness. Well, anyway, I better move on and, wow, some more people with my knowledge of Lincolnshire's topology. Topology, thanks. I start to move off and Noel shakes my hand. Excellent meeting you, Rob. Stay in touch. He's visibly creating a file in his memory, most likely under the category heading Full Maintenance Grant. A full maintenance grant. Sounds like maybe, yeah, he got his schooling paid for. I mean, yeah, he'd probably have to, wouldn't he? He managed 3 A's, though. He did his bit. We're very proud of our Robert. The first in his family to go to college, actually. And look at where he's ended up. Where's Noel now? Robert. Stipends, yeah. My first encounter with the diamond-hard courtesy and cheery humorlessness of the English upper middle class has left me drained. Noel sounds lovely. I thought Noel was nice, wasn't he? Rob does have a chip on his shoulder, though, doesn't he? He's going to be quite out of sorts with these people. He thought he was going to be at home, and now he's found that he's not at home either. Oh, to be strange. Okay, so I circle the hall for a while longer, miserably contemplating going back to my room to open the complete works of Chaucer that will need doing sooner or later, or more likely to moan to the diary about how coming here was a mistake. There's another gaggle of first years. It includes a boy with his head shaved at the sides and the rest of his hair dyed red and pulled back into a ponytail. Also a short, beautiful girl in full goth makeup. Both are nevertheless wearing formal clothes and gowns. They look like they're hating this. Okay, maybe worth one more go. I hang around the edges of the group. Plum hair and goth girl don't notice, but someone else does. Hello, I'm Patrick. Hello, Rob. Like Noel, like a lot of men around here, Patrick is about 6'2". What have these boys been eating? I suppose their mums didn't smoke. Mum was scrupulous about giving up the booze when pregnant, but not so much the other thing. I reckon she owes me an inch or two as well as 30 years of company. I make a mental note to pick that bone with her the next time we have a pan-celestial chat. Patrick says, with the others listening, we've all been having exciting conversations about what A-levels we did and what we did on our gap years. The group quietly hums with a sense of self-irony and self-consciousness. Oh yes, this is more like it. I can get that over with quite quickly, I say. English, history, and economics. I had a bit of unfortunateness and went back to school for a year. I'm from Lincolnshire, and yes, I do fuck the sheep. Rams or ewes? That's a bit personal, Patrick. Sorry. Rams mainly. Plum Hair, whose name is Joe, adds helpfully. The horns give you something to hang on to. Ah, a connoisseur, I say. Joe giggles. I'm sorry to tell you that this bestiality banter goes on for about another minute. The rest of the group divide neatly between those who think this is weird but funny, and those who think it's just weird. As for Patrick, Joe, and me, it's perfectly obvious that we will attend each other's funerals. This is how my brain currently interprets good news about new friendships. Patrick is the first to sense that we're being insufferable and tries to include everyone else. So, Rob, this is Joe, Lily, Phil, Julie, Dan. He could do the whole thing in one breath, but realizes it's starting to look like he's showing off his social skills. Not showing off your social skills being, of course, an important social skill. Glenn, Tara, and Dorothea. I know, he hasn't bought much, has he? I'm so sorry. Hey. They're English. They don't really fight that way. He didn't go to Eton. I probably got that all wrong. Everyone mumbles happily that he got it all right. It's like he's just tickled them on the tummy. Phil, the one standing quite close to Julie, who looks as if he'd much rather be in his room with an earful of WOMAD, has been thinking, you went back to school for a year? Yeah, I thought about Thailand, but I realized I just hadn't had enough good old ruddy sixth form. Phil isn't satisfied. What was the unfortunateness? Nope, not here, not now. I hesitate for just a second. Julie sees it. So does Patrick. The latter good-naturedly explains to Phil, he'd tell you, but he'd have to kill you. Exactly, I say, locking eyes with Phil through his expensive glasses. Probably by clubbing you to death with the dead sheep. Ooh, that was a bit much. Phil snorts lightly and looks around for somewhere else to be. The funny half of the group is amused, but I feel like I've let Patrick down. That's the thing about kind people. I can never live up to them. Of all the things I currently want these Cambridge people to think I am, witty, clever, sophisticated, ambiguous, sexy, ironic, exciting, artistic, self-possessed, self-aware, it doesn't occur to me that kind should be at the top of the list, nor brave or honest or even reliable. I think at this time that these virtues are too obvious, too boring, and too typical of some kind of normal man. No, as long as you're very serious about not being like your dad, and you don't really need to be good at all. What is good anyway? This is the method by which I give myself permission to start acting like a liar and a sleazebag. No, a sheep, Yoda, a ram, technically, not a goat, a ram. He didn't, though. It was just a joke. Remember the first interaction with Noel? He brought it into another interaction since, someone had already made a joke about the sheep in Lincolnshire. Okay, so let's continue. He's about to become a liar and a sleazebag. How exciting. How very typical. It's about this time that I give up reading. That's to say, at the beginning of my English degree. So naturally, this is also where the line has to start in earnest. As an English student, reading books and writing essays about books should really be quite up high up there in a time and motion study of how I spend my day. The trouble is, much as novels, plays, and poems have previously been a solace and an inspiration, reading them now is my job. I used to be practically the only boy who loved reading. Now I'm surrounded by them. Therefore, screw reading. Yes, I could open that copy of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, or I could probably get myself a coffee and a Kit Kat from the machine next to the junior common room, and then go in there to browse the newspapers for an hour. Then I should probably start that critical evaluation of a sonnet by Philip Sidney, but not before sauntering towards the discount shop in town to buy a tight-fitting scoop neck top like Brett Anderson wears. Brett Anderson is the lead singer of my favorite band, Suede, because he's a fan too. Shout out to the Suede fans. Then I'll dive right into Troilus and Cressida. I haven't read this. Troilus and Cressida. If you've read these, let me know if I should. Once I've written a long and amusing letter to Will, Tiffany, or Isabel, or a short, cheerful one to Auntie Trudy. At that point, I'm absolutely desperate to start learning Anglo-Saxon. But there again, I could audition for those 5 plays or try to write something funny that might get me into footlights. And now, oh look, the bar's open. All of this requires a lot of lying. Frankly, it's hard work. I put so much creativity into my excuses for doing nothing that it sometimes occurs to me that it might have been easier just to read the sodding book or write the sodding essay in the first place. I become a sort of method actor in reverse. I spend so much time pretending to be ill that I actually feel quite ill. I had some time like that actually in my life when I was a kid, yeah. I didn't feel well. It was more of like an emotional thing. It was all bubbling and under the surface, making me. I wasn't well, but I wasn't like sick exactly. Anyway. Robert's taking me back. Gawain, my main. It was in 4th grade, yeah. 4th grade at a time when I just remember going to the nurse's office all the time. Like, I just always asked to go to the nurse's office. I quite liked the nurse in school. Indeed, it is a nerdy conversation. But yeah, I don't know. I did puke, actually, that year in the nurse's office. I wasn't well. I really wasn't. I don't know. But yeah, I ended up puking in her office one day. I remember just going to the office all the time and just not feeling well. And she would just kind of talk to me and check me out and feels, I guess, some kind of compassion for me. That was a tough year. I had a great teacher, though. My teacher was really wonderful. I even would go and visit her sometimes, after I got out of her class, because I would be walking around in her neighborhood. She didn't live that far from me. It was a bit, but not too far, And she also lived next door to another one of my classmates. So, yeah, I visited her a number of times just to say hi. So anyway, back to the book. My director of studies, chief teacher, is Dr. Judy Weiss, an infinitely patient and brilliant tutor who interviewed me twice and took a chance. God knows she must have seen this kind of thing before, but her policy is either to believe my excuses or at least do the very sound impression of believing them. The lies begin as evil saplings, but by the end of the year they are fully grown triffids. Triffids or trifids? Does anybody know about tree things? Arborism. What is it? Arbory? What is it called technically? Oh, there's a little fly in here. Oh, I did leave the door open on my balcony for a good number of hours today. So yeah, there's a couple of flies got in, which is irritating. Well, anyway. The language in my chat is just obscene sometimes. Anyway. Sorry, Dr. Weiss, I didn't write an essay this week because I had glandular fever. I couldn't come to this week's supervision because I was in a bike accident. Please accept this work in the note form because I have to attend a funeral in Lincolnshire. Unfortunately, I'm suffering from an unspecified mental condition, but isn't it wonderful that the sun's out today? I was clearing the road for myself while leaving an ever more conspicuous piles of horse shit for everyone else to try and ignore. By the end of that year, I'd killed at least 2 members of my extended family and was considering a kidnapping. At this point, Dr. Weiss gave me a 1-to-1 ticking off so gentle it had the effect of encouraging me to do even less. Robert, it's possible that you could secure a 2-to-1 with native intelligence alone, but unlikely and certainly not a first. Oh, Judy, mate, that's fine. That's brilliant news. Who needs a first? I'm going to be a wealthy TV star. This is also how I privately justify the taxpayers' money I'm currently pissing up the wall. I glibly assume I'll be in a position to pay it back through tax. I nod at her and look contrite while wondering what I have to do around here to get thrown out. The answer will come next year in the language I have completely neglected to learn. On the shelf in my room, there's a copy of Beowulf, ticking like some kind of Anglo-Saxon book bomb. Sexually, if not quite romantically, little Tart Fauntleroy is having the time of his life. The diary becomes littered with what Twitter users now describe as a humble brag. God, this thing is starting to read like Confessions of a Sex Maniac. It's awful, I know, but I'm just recounting the facts. Let's be clear, Poppet. You don't think it's awful in the slightest. You're having a ball, and good for you. Pity about all the lying, though, dearest. Pity about the facts. I immediately get myself into a relationship with a third year called Mags, another older woman, interesting. She's charismatic and slightly mad, but interesting company, and crucially, a third year. I'm literally dating an older woman. Sadly, the sex is consistently underwhelming, partly because we're going out with each other for the wrong reasons, but also because she has an overdeveloped critical faculty and won't shut the hell up. As a more mature lover, say next week, I won't mind when a woman tells me exactly what they want. It's just that this is a bit new to me, and Mags has a particular style of running commentary. Oh dear, I don't know if I want to. The New York flies are a foot long. Oh my. The rats are pretty big too, huh? I saw some cute rats when I was in New York. I'm in the subway. I was like, oh, babies. So he is into highly neurotic toasties. Indeed, I see. It would appear so. I mean, roasties. Okay, I don't know what a roasty is. I don't know what a toasty is either. Perhaps you can enlighten me. No, yes. All right, then, yes. That is indeed my, C word. Her, iterless clay. Top marks. Well done, you, etc. That actually, no. You've got lost again, haven't you? Oh, dear, no. Higher, my sweet, gentler. No, not that gentle. I'm falling asleep. Oh, well, all right, if you say so. And then a few minutes later, oh dear, it's not really your night, is it? Classic erection fiasco. Ho hum, and there we are, trying to avoid the cliche. Anyway, not to worry, let me stroke your bruised male ego. Poor you. Oh, that sounds like a very intense experience. I wonder if I should have read that. A crooked woman. Okay, a roasty is a crooked woman, indeed. Well, if you're a slut maker, that's usually what you're into, right? I carry on going out with Megs, even though I'm now pretty sure that I don't like her. She says something about how nice it is to be in an exclusive relationship for a change. I hear it and agree. I too am a big fan of monogamy, just not with her. One Saturday, she goes home to London, and I go to a sweaty bop, a dance, disco, whatever, a room crammed with over 100 young people getting down in what Robinson touchingly calls its party room. I seem to be on some kind of promise from a fun first year called Bianca. We flirt and dance, and then she disappears, but that's okay because here comes Colette, another fun first year. The flirting and dancing resumes. We leave the party early and go back to my room. Things are getting a bit fantastic in the dark when there's a knock at the door. The room has a tiny corridor. You can close the bedroom door before you open the one outside. It's Bianca, sweaty, smiling, but quizzical. You left the party. Yeah, just tired. You left the party with Colette. Yeah, exactly. She needed to talk. Talk. Yeah, it's her brother. I'm not going to say this, am I? Yup, apparently I am. He's a heroin addict. What? He's really struggling and she wanted to talk. To you? Apparently, yes. Bianca has clearly been lied to before by better liars and even worse men than me. She's now enjoying life. And she's in there right now, is she? Yeah, actually. Discussing her brother's heroin addiction with you. I know it sounds mental, but yes. It does sound fairly mental, Rob. Bianca is quite gleeful as well as fairly drunk. She casts the odd glance at the white cotton top I'm wearing with its see-through sweatiness and unevenly fastened buttons. So I'll see you back at the party, yeah? Yep. She kisses me on the mouth. She smells fucking great. Don't be long then, she goes off, softly cackling to herself. Right, okay, I go back into the room and turn on a lamp. Forgive me, reader. I don't know why you should, but forgive me anyway. So anyway, shall we go back to the party? What? I just thought maybe left a bit early. Was that Bianca out there? I'm all out of ideas. Bianca, yep. Colette starts indignantly pulling on her knickers. I have never been treated so shabbily in my entire fucking life. Well, at least she found out before they did it. I slightly turn away while she finishes dressing, because I'm such a gentleman. She heads out of the door and never speaks to me again. Stop talking about long pig. Yoda. Oh my goodness. Don't pick on Christ Conquerors in that way. Oh my God. A couple of hours later, I'm in the same room with Bianca. We're both shit-faced, and here are two more lovely breasts, and here's another soft, beautiful triangle in the dark. And she's just fallen asleep. Okie kokie. I tell her not to snore. She slurs, "You not snore neither, mister," and giggles at how that came out. I pull the duvet over her shoulders and give her a kiss on the cheek. Wow, I think. I've just cheated on Mags with 2 women. Or at least I would have done if one hadn't stormed out and the other hadn't fallen asleep. But it's the thought that counts. Hope she doesn't find out. A few days later, more in sorrow than in anger, Mags calmly destroys me. We're in my room again, H1, Robinson College. There should really be a blue plaque commemorating that night when the author of How Not to Be a Boy had his testicles quietly removed and then pushed slowly and firmly up his nostrils. I think we're both aware that your behavior has been deplorable, she states neutrally. It's the 5th of November, and I just got back from the fireworks display. After 20 minutes of wandering around with Patrick, Joe, Dora, Lily the Goth, Bianca, and a few other first years, I withdrew into a terrible sadness and then just gave them the slip. Partly it was the fireworks, conjuring memories of Mum and Derek in the bungalow garden. And I missed my brothers and my Lincolnshire friends. Where were Will and Tiffany on a night like this? These new guys didn't know me at all. It was in this frame of mind that I walked into the Robinson bar, bought 4 cans of lager, and took them back to H1. Mags had witnessed this and then followed a few minutes later. Drinking alone, oh dear me, we are feeling sorry for ourselves, aren't we? I'll just sit down, shall I? She sits opposite me, cross-legged and scarily focused. So what's the problem? I don't know whether to trust her, but I tell her anyway. What it adds up to is I'm lonely. She listens, occasionally sighing with an apparent sympathy, sometimes rolling her eyes at the ceiling with theatrical impatience. Troublingly, she isn't interrupting or even replying. I get the distinct impression that I'm being given enough rope to hang myself. After about a minute, I stop talking and she starts. It must be hard being as important as you, Rob. I mean, all these feelings of sadness and loneliness. The rest of us never have to deal with those, do we? You don't think it's possible that Patrick or Joe miss their friends from school, for example, because it doesn't sound like that actually crossed your mind. I think it's quite likely that they also feel confused and lonely, but somehow they didn't go into a sulk and then fuck off without saying goodbye, and then sit around with a beer saying everything means nothing, and it's all just why, do they? They didn't name their car after a man whose only song was called The One and Only. She sighs and lights a cigarette. Obviously, I know all about Bianca and Colette. That was pathetic, and I'm quite hurt, but it's beside the point, frankly. I think we can both agree that your behavior has been deplorable, and it goes without saying that I don't want to go out with you anymore. If you want us to remain friends, then I think you need to get used to the idea that other people are real. Well, that's me told. She says, what do you think? I say, I think you should stop talking and go away. She gives a mild snort of disappointment and does just that. It feels like I've let someone under my skin and she just trashed the place from the inside. Oh God, he is quite pathetic. Hello, Galahad. Hello, Point Fire. Nice to see you all. Megs, by the way, is young, hurt, and has just spent all night in the bar, but she hasn't said anything untrue or even unfair. I feel a vague sense of indignation, familiar from Dad's domestic bollockings, at the spectacle of anyone who isn't Mum presuming to tell me off. But the thought of Mum makes matters worse because without quite saying it, Megs has left me with the heavy impression that my mother is ashamed of me. See, he's attracted to these older women because he's again, chasing after his mother a bit. You are free to come and visit with me. You can get over here. You don't have to be dramatic. Y'all, he went outside today. I don't know what he's lying. He's not telling the truth. He went into the hallway this morning and he went out on the balcony. He had all the fun. So don't listen to him. Who knows? He's probably out having fun. Or flying his drone somewhere. I don't know. He's fibbing. I don't want to say he's lying exactly, but he's not being completely honest with those dramatic sounds. What time is it? It's 8:20. He is wanting me to wrap it up. Let's see how long this chapter is. I need to stop paying so much attention to you guys. I can probably get through it by my cutoff time. I mean, I'm going to get through it either way, but I don't want to be up too late. Hi, babes. Hi, babes. You want some lap? You want to get up on my lap? Excuse me. Cat intermission. Sweetie, it's not even that late. The sun's still setting. Come on. Come on. Hey. Hey, come on. Look. Got all this lap. You got all the lap. You can have the whole lap. Come on. Does he have boils or leaks? And certainly not. Come on, sweetie. Get up here. Come on. You know you want up here. He's going to get up here. He's doing it. There he is. There he is. There's my sweet kitty. Oh, you want to see? There he is. There he is. He's being shy. Well, anyway, yeah. Get my posters in there. Gotta have my Fruit of the Spirit poster. Well, he has a nickname in the chat. He goes by Toucans. He is cute, isn't he? He's a cute kitty. He makes cute little cries too. Oh, got a little something in his eye though. Let me get that. We don't walk around with nastiness in our eyes, not in this house. Yeah. He's wonderful. Yeah. His name is Nero, though. His name is Nero. And he's the best kitty in the whole world. Yes, he is. Yes, Toucans. He definitely bosses me around. I can't believe the level of control this cat has over me sometimes. Like, it is a cozy place. I mean, it's enough. It's nice. It's a nice place. It definitely is. It's a nice place. My building is very nice. The area is very nice. It's well suited, you know. I am very blessed, yes. God has been good. You are so sweet. He's being real sweet. I can't right now, sweetie. Oh, so good kitty. He's getting it right under the chin. Oh, they love that right under the chin when you get that little. And my nails have been growing out, so I can scratch him real good. He loves that. He was missing my nails, weren't you? He was missing them. He loves that feeling when I scratch him with them. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think about it. It's kind of cozy. The lighting is pretty cozy in here too. I find the walls are painted this kind of greenish color. It has a very warm feel. the bright wood as well. I love how high the ceilings are. It's nice. It's, modern and industrial, but it's cozy. It's nice. Okay, sweetie. Yeah, I'm going to get back to reading my little book. Oh, all right. The idea burrows slowly into my brain like a malign worm. I look distractedly around the wet, unfocused room for a Tupperware box, but then remember why I couldn't do it the last time. So there's no point thinking about it this time either. To be well enough to reject suicidal thoughts is not the same thing as being well enough not to have them. Sweetie. In 10-foot ceilings. I think mine might be higher than that. I don't know. I haven't really investigated. Maybe that information will be available on the, I don't know. Maybe I'll ask. I'm friendly with the office staff, so maybe ask them how tall the ceilings are. They're tall. I like it. It gives a really Indeed, I have everything I need. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yeah, I have a nice little life, a nice simple little life, and everything I need. And lots of stuff I want too. So, doing pretty well. We blessed. Are we blessed? We blessed? Is God good? Do we sing his praises? When life is good and when life is bad, he's been good to us. He has carried us through and given us everything we need and everything we could handle. What else do I want? I try not to want for anything, I stop. But yeah, I mean, there's always things I could, things they could be doing differently. I think that's what I want. I want less stress. I want less stressful times. I want more time to be self-focused. But a lot of that's on me too, More peace. I suppose you could say that. Peace. I've got a lot of peace, though. I don't know if that's exactly that. Hi, Frederick. Frederick's here. More money or more peace? I don't think I have to choose between the two. I think the two will go together. Because I have to say, the more money I've made, the more peace I've had. I've just noticed a correlation. It's made life a lot less turbulent. I definitely, more adrenaline. Do you think, Point Fire? I don't know that I like that so much. Yeah, I wouldn't mind more. But again, a lot of that's on me too, And I don't want to wear myself out to get it either, Oh. Oof. All is well, Frederick. Thank you. All is very well. Sun's starting to set. It's getting to that low point. I know. I used to have a bowl cut. It looks pretty cool. Hey, all of my arrows are pretty iconic, I have to say. The bowl cut was iconic. It was a look. I fit in with those Korean feminists so well. Like when I met them, like so many of them had that bowl cut too. It was just like, it looks ridiculous. I didn't think it looked ridiculous. I didn't think it looked ridiculous. Like, compared to now, yeah, it didn't look as good as, I wasn't maximizing what the Lord blessed me with. Definitely not. But, Yoda, you're so mean. That's so mean. Why would you say that? It did not, y'all are so brutal. I hate y'all. I don't even know what y'all look like. And you have sitting here, you horrible boys. You horrible boys. Show it. No, I won't. It's out there. You can dig. If you want to see treasure, you got to dig, honey. Okay? I know, but I'm still hurt. No. It did not suck. It did not suck. You're a dirty, nasty thing, Yoda. I don't know what you look like. How dare you sit in judgment of my appearance? Go look, y'all. You'll laugh here. Yeah, well, they can go find out for themselves if they really want to know, You're good looking. So you say, but I bet I'm better looking, even with my bowl cut. So, how about that? Weird boy. Don't say Simple Jack. Dress like I never dressed like Pee Wee Herman. What are you talking about, Pee Wee Herman? Are you talking about the photo where I had a bow tie? I love Pee Wee Herman. I don't care. No, I have my money on Yoda, and he's a guy. Oh, how rude, Christ Conquers. That bowl cut was brutal. It's only brutal to you because you've seen me now. So you see that and you're just like, it's shocking. How old am I? You can go look that up too. Goodness. No, Yoda, no. Don't say Simple Jack. I hate y'all. Ugh. I'm like, my chat is teasing me. I'm being bullied by my chat. The picture's in the screen if you look hard enough. Thank you, Frederick. Frederick got eyes. Do you all want to see that? I'll show that to you. Okay, sweetie, come on. This is actually a drawing of me that was included in a book by a Korean feminist that actually came to visit me, Ara. She was, she's a really cool artist and stuff. But she did this portrait of me, and it was women who are with us. And I was included in her book. She had a bunch of different feminists from around the world that were participating in the kind of 4B movement and challenging feminine beauty practices and not doing them. So yeah, these were some drawings she did of me that were included in her book. And, I have to say, I prefer my look now. What do you think? I think I look much better now, indeed. But Frederick had an eye. But hey, I was in this book, and it was, a nice international moment. I'm like, the feminist stuff was crazy, but I did have some interesting things come out of it. Like the fact that I got to meet these women from another country and learn from them and learn about their movement and, just, I don't know. We did a spicy noodle challenge together, all of it. No, it wasn't necessarily gay. Not all the women in the book were gay. Not even no, I mean, I did meet some Korean lesbians later on, but the two women I initially met from the movement weren't gay. I know Frederick's real men pay attention to detail. I don't like spicy noodles though, and I'd never had buldak at that time. I'd never had the buldak bokumyum. So we did that. My art page is awesome. Thank you. I need to work on it. I need to upload more art. They're not angry about nothing. I wouldn't say they're angry about nothing. I mean, that's incorrect, but like the way that they have responded isn't really helpful either, you know? But what they're responding to is messed up. I don't know. Reacting to is a better word, because a response would be like, the world is messed up, y'all. There's a spiritual battle. That's devil wants men and women angry with one another. And it's so funny. Actually, a lot of the women in that movement use the term Korean male as a slur. Like, to call, like, K-male is a slur. They say it like it's the worst thing you could be is a Korean man. I mean, like, Frederick, oh my God. No, it's not crazy. They have a lot of issues in their society. And, the fact that they had the spy cam issues and the way that women were bullied after being, like, not only filmed without their consent, but like put on blast, bullied. That was a pretty big thing. There's also been a number of women involved in like Korean media that have committed suicide. That's a really big problem. A lot of the women are very unhappy in Korea, and they have a lot of different pressures and expectations. And I think they suffer from some of the westernization that's happened in the culture. The influence from being an ally to the US definitely has been difficult, because they still have a very conservative culture in a lot of regards. So it's very stressful being a Korean woman, and the level of expectation on the femininity is brutal. Like, here in the US, I don't think women understand how free they really are, in terms of just like expression and femininity. Like, their standards are just intense. So I don't know, like a lot of women have rebelled, and I don't think it's crazy entirely. It's just, but yeah, it has gone to an insane level. And I think it's just because their culture is so intense as well. Like, it's everything, because the polarity is so extreme on the other end in Korea, the rebellion is so much more intense. You understand? Like, when the pendulum swings in the culture, it's going to swing a lot more extremely, like it does in the US as well. Like, right now we're having a swing in the culture. It's going a bit more conservative. And as there's going to be, everything is like reacting to itself. It's like a tug of war in the culture. I think it happens everywhere. So they are focused on inheritable genetics. Yeah, well, a lot of it's fake, though. At the end of the day, a lot of it is stuff that women just don't live up to, or don't really want to sacrifice everything else they've got going on to live up to. And a lot of the, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna be up here and act like women are wrong for reacting to extreme things that are in the culture, because at the end of the day, like, the culture is sick. They're just going about things in the wrong way, but their understanding that things are wrong is correct. But it is having a bad effect on the culture. Yeah, there's been a whole generation of like women just choosing to opt out of pursuing romantic relationships with men, like doing any of that. They've been totally self-focused. And, you know, I've met some pretty interesting women from Korea that actually live in the US and like work in the US. So that's been interesting, just like having friendships with them, interacting with them and learning from them. Like these women are next level, you know, in terms of what they've been able to do, achieve in their lives, how hard they've worked. And, you know, I mean, I don't see why, again, a lot of the time, I think a lot of women just in the modern world have this feeling in general. It's like, why sacrifice your freedom for, you know, something that isn't going to be better? You know, in terms of your lifestyle, in terms of your contentedness. You know, if you're going to be treated like dirt, like give up everything you've worked for and are able to provide for yourself so you can be subservient and treated like dirt and not respected or loved or cherished, like, why do that? If you don't have to, why do that? Koreans can be racist too. Hurry up and buy. They're racist as hell. The Koreans are based, okay? I love them. Indeed, does everyone deserve love? Everyone is loved. Ultimately, everyone is loved. But you can't expect the world to give you love. You can't look at it for other people to give you that love, you know, necessarily. If they don't have, most people don't have any. Most people don't have any love to give, you know? And that's the world we live in. And I think women being cognizant of that without really understanding how to return to the Father themselves, like they're in this fallen state. They're not in the spirit. You know, it's understandable how people get this way. Like, I understand. Oh, there's a big fly. Hi, Zenny. Christ Conqueror says he is an elite black. My goodness. Good to have you, Zenny. God bless you too. I should get back to my book because, yeah, I have taken a big detour here. Y'all, why is chat so interesting? I'm going to finish this chapter, even though it's going to have me up later than I wanted, but that's okay. It's my fault. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. So to be well enough to reject suicidal thoughts is not the same thing as being well enough not to have them in the first place. We are not responsible for our thoughts, of course. We're responsible only for our words and actions. There are no bad thoughts, only bad deeds. But obviously, there are some lines of thought that are unhealthy to pursue. Two extreme examples being, how exactly am I going to murder this person who just barged onto the train when people were trying to get off? Or how exactly am I going to murder myself? We all have wayward thoughts. We don't choose them, but we can choose not to follow them. With feelings, there is no choice at all, zero choice. How are you feeling right now? Right, whose idea was that? I don't mean to be rude, but I doubt that you had much to do with it, not because of what you're reading now, so much as what you had for breakfast and that annoying thing your friend said to you last Tuesday night. We're not the same thing as our emotions. With practice, you just get to watch them bubbling up and simmering down again. And you can sometimes tilt the playing field in your game favor. You don't discreetly lift the surface of a game of table football or foosball unless you're an outrageous cheat. It's acceptable to do so, however, if your opponent is the one in your mind who keeps saying, "Stop being alive." Going for a brisk walk or having a cup of tea are a couple of harmless ways to change the chemistry of your body enough, maybe, to change your frame of mind. At least it works for some of the people some of the time. If your opponent wants you dead, tilt the table. Tea, exercise, talking therapy, meditation, prescribed antidepressants, different things tilt different tables. Whatever works for you. Don't know if I agree with him. My problem in my 20s, a continuing but much diminished problem as I type now, was that I tended to miss out the teas and the walks and reach straight for a lager. Oh, I can change the chemistry all right. It's just a pity that my chemistry changer of choice is, among other things, a known depressant that gives you liver failure and a fat gut. Yeah, oof, lager. Oof. You don't like this book. Oh dear. Well, we're reading it. So on that particular night, and I'm tempted to put the negative emotions in bold here, but I wouldn't do that to you. I was afraid that I was in the wrong place, afraid of losing my old friends, anxious that my new ones didn't love me, and, as usual, in grief. On top of that, someone just correctly pointed out that I'd behaved in a selfish and self-indulgent way. So we can add shame and challenged pride to this bountiful platter of reasons to get drunk. If you're thinking right now that this catalog of mishandled feelings is in itself all a little bit self-indulgent, then I suppose my reply is this: for men of about my age and older, those whose fathers have fought in a war, or those who were raised by the sons of such fathers, there can be few more powerful accusations than the one of self-indulgence. Paul got it from Ron, and I got it from Paul. This is the voice I hear all the time. Be a man, man up, act like a man, get a grip, get real, get over yourself, pull yourself together, sort yourself out. Stop moaning. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. You don't know you're born. Be a man, man up, act like a man. It's no coincidence that this is the language frequently used by men who believe that we live in a feminized society where men, particularly white men, like themselves, have become the victims of discrimination. Men's rights activists tend to make a series of valid observations from which they proceed to a single 180-degree wrong conclusion. They are correct to point out that worldwide suicide is the most common form of death for men under 50. It's also true that men are more likely than women to have serious problems with alcohol, that men die younger, that the prison population is 95% male, and that the lack of support for our returning frontline soldiers is a national disgrace. So far, so regrettably true. They are incorrect, however, to lay any of this at the door of feminism, a term which they use almost interchangeably with women. In my experience of reading the comments and replies to articles I've written on gender-related subjects, these are invariably the guys telling me to get a grip and act like a man. No, sir. No, lads. No, daddy. That won't help us, and it won't help anyone else. Men in trouble are often in trouble precisely because they are trying to get a grip and act like a man. That's true, Christ Conquerors. That is true, Conquerors. That's an interesting insight. I will say, yeah, it can be very disturbing, actually, sometimes. people get the wrong things out of him, you know? We are at the risk of suicide because the alternative is to ask for help, something we have been repeatedly told is unmanly. We are in prison because the traditional breadwinning expectations of manhood can't be met, or the pressure to conform is too great. Oh man. Or the option of violence has been frowned upon but implicitly sanctioned since we were children. We are dependent on booze when we try to tilt the table, try to change the chemistry in a way that is harmful, counterproductive, and of course, widely accepted as tough and manly, irrespective of whether the impulse comes from conformity or rebellion, from John Wayne or James Dean. We die younger than women because, for one thing, we don't go to the doctor. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We don't want to be thought self-indulgent. The mark of a real man is being able to tolerate a chest infection for 3 months before laying off the smokes or asking for medicine. Once in a long-term relationship, men are worse than women at maintaining same-sex friendships. I don't mean talking bollocks with Gary in the pub, enjoyable as it is. I mean being able to tell Gary you've got cancer and expecting Gary to be able to listen. I'm not saying none of us have that kind of friend in our lives, but women seem to have about 4 each. That's fine as long as your wife doesn't die or divorce you. If she does, men are left higher and drier, not only because they relied on just one person for emotional support, but because they tend to be less plugged into the local community. Well, I brought this up on the channel before, and some men were like, no, networking is gay. That's women's stuff. And I'm like, this is part of why there's like a loneliness epidemic, right? Men not having support networks is a real problem. And it does lead to this kind of like isolation, self-destructiveness, like not, a lot of men just self-destruct in that, because they don't have those kind of positive relationships or any really. And I see it, like I see the like self-destructing of the ones that are like the most isolated. It's kind of like, what can you do, If we do less of the school run, less of the shopping, less sitting in the dentist waiting rooms with our kids, we aren't going to meet and get to know as many people, especially younger people. Loneliness is a man killer. Then there's work, whether it's enjoyable, dangerous, repetitive, well-paid, badly paid, fulfilling, or soul-destroying. Work-related stress is our problem. Thank you. You women, please, hello there, please stop banging on the door and smacking your heads against glass ceilings in the attempt to compete or support. Shh, we've got this. Oh shit, an ulcer, my tumor, the ulcer on my tumor. At least we have a job. When we don't have a job, F word, I don't have a job, I'm not a man, my tumor, my ulcer. Feminists didn't create these circumstances. Neither am I saying that men have gone along with this stuff like a bunch of passive idiots. I'm saying it's difficult to resist because it hides in plain sight. It's everywhere, a system of thought and a set of invented and discriminatory practices in our laws, culture, and economy that feminists call the patriarchy. Here he goes. He's going on a feminist rant here. I was wondering, like, when's the male feminism going to come out? Like, when is he going to get on his stuff? I mean, he's done it a little bit, but he's on like a full rant here. I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know why you're talking about Nick's sparkly shirt, y'all. The blouse? I'm wondering, like, what are you referring to? Indeed, he is. I'm a snowflake too, though, right? Okay, feminists are not out to get us. They're out to get the patriarchy. They don't hate men. They hate the man. They're our mates. Feminists are not your mates, y'all. They are not your mates. The patriarchy was created for the convenience of men, but it comes at a heavy cost to ourselves and to everyone else. Okay, it was made for the convenience of men, but it comes at a cost. I don't think it was. I don't think I don't think it's convenient. I just think it's normal. Actually, I don't want to say it's normal. I don't think patriarchy is normal. I think patriarchy is the evolved way of doing things. Does that make sense to y'all? Like, I see that society and many people are matriarchal naturally. I see how that happens. And when I say naturally, I just mean in the fallen state, things tend to defer that way. I think patriarchy occurs when humanity tries to pull themselves out of that. You know, when we try to do the right thing and build rather than, be animalistic, I would say. Yeah, exactly, Yoda. That's what I'm saying. It's the ordered, righteous way. You know what I mean? It's the righteous way. So, yeah, when it's matriarchy, I mean, a lot of people are living in that, and we see the fruits of it. Patriarchy is the order that brings like the fruit of the spirit, the development of mankind. It brings us forward because imagine, like, it is the most ideal situation for providing a stable, calm, civilized community, right? Having families of, excuse me, I've been having a cough. But yeah, that's how I kind of see it, or how I've come to see it through my own observation and just reflection. It's God's order and God's way. So, I don't agree that lions are patriarchal. Yeah, a lot of, I mean, elephants are other. I mean, there's humans that a lot of humans are. Let's be honest. How many homes are there where women are running the show? How many women are leading households? Let's be real. Like, it's very common. But the most ordered way, the most civilized way, though, is when men are at the helm, women are the help, children are under them. You know, it's the most stabilizing force for a community and a society. So, yeah. Well, I don't know, not necessarily, or I don't even mean that. I'm not even talking about like a home with a domineering wife. I'm talking about like, I know a number of homes where the woman is the breadwinner. And because she makes the money, she makes the financial decisions. It's so common. It's very common. You know, people want to pretend it's not happening, but it is in a lot of homes. And like guys like Robert think that's fine, you know. But it isn't the most ordered way to have a family. It really is, and it's not the best. Exactly, Yoda. And that's what I'm saying. That's a female-run home, a female-led home. So I'm saying it's common. It's common. It's normal in the sense that it's common. But I don't want to even say it again. I've made my point. Patriarchy is God's order. You got to get a girl that doesn't work. I mean, I don't know. Well, Christ, okay, you men in the chat that are like saying these interesting things. Like you don't have these kind of problems, but there's a lot of men out there that are not at your level and you know it. Their woman is more educated, more has higher earning potential, has applied herself more. I mean, that's really what it is. Their woman has applied themselves more in life. So, yeah, I know it's true. It's true for you because you're a man that's like got your head on right. That's true for you. Higher earning potential. She has the ability, she has, she has applied herself and gotten the necessary, like, she's worked harder, she's educated herself, she's done whatever she needs to do to make more money. I know it's not about these things. No, it's not DEI hires. Excuse me. It's not about that. Don't even, like, no. This is just a thing. Apply themselves more. Okay, there are men, and then these women, they end up like getting with a guy who doesn't apply himself in the same way. No, it isn't, Yoda. You're acting like women don't earn like their positions, and that's not true. I agree, Galahad. I agree. I concur. I watched it happen. This is why I've stayed single, It's like I mean, it's like it's better to be single than to be in that kind of situation. But other women, like, they like to be in control. You know what I mean? They want to be in control or have the illusion of control. And, they don't really care much or aren't really seeking the kingdom of God. They're seeking whatever is, they think is best, whatever worldly thing they think is best. I agree, Christ conquers. We're not having any kind of disagreement about that, but I'm just saying, like, it's real, it's out here. Anyway, let's get back to the book. Okay, I'm fine, I think, to myself. The message that I get from Mags is that I've also been selfish and self-indulgent. I mean, I think he's been very selfish and self-indulgent to get his college, get himself basically in the US what we call a paid scholarship footed by the taxpayer to Cambridge, right? Robinson College, get himself into the English program there, and to basically just, not do anything. I mean, I'm very selfish and self-indulgent, especially all the people who like have worked hard for him. Yeah. I mean, most suicidal people are often that way. Like depression is it's a very selfish thing. That's reasonable. Also, every now and again, I want to kill myself. No problem. The trouble is, someone whose only moral compass is the mother whom he believes. His only moral compass is his mother. Listen to this, yeah. His mother, whom he believes, whom he has to believe is watching over him, is going to find it difficult to walk into a shrink's office and demand to be listened to when he already thinks his mother is disgusted by the self-indulgence. It will take something else to push me to take this highly sensible and long overdue step. It'll come down to love and sex again, unrewarding sex and unrequited love. Nothing very unusual. But then the privilege of being young is a total lack of perspective. So there could never be a sexier, more gorgeous woman than Lily the Goth. And there could never be a more beautiful, more enigmatic man than Mag's friend Sam, the former Goth. And there could never be a turn of events more calamitous than my sort of girlfriend Lily and my sort of minor deity, Sam, falling in love with each other. At that point, I can scarcely get out of bed for 2 weeks. That's what it takes for a boy, for this boy anyway, to seek professional help. Well, I did tell you I was a slow learner. Yeah, so he really is looking for like a mother's love and like in the world. He's like consistently like looking for his mother again and again. It's interesting. And it's like never fulfilling. How Not to Be a Boy. It is How Not to Be a Boy by Robert Webb. Interesting stuff tonight. That's the end of chapter 10. Right? That was chapter 10? Yep. Next chapter is chapter 11. We're getting through the book. We're well over more than halfway done. We should be wrapping it up within a few more streams. That is true, Christ conquers. Put that up. He says, when men are weak, it brings everyone else down. But when men are strong, it is a light to the world. I have not finished reading it yet. Yeah. His mother's death really impacted him pretty badly, you know. Yeah, I mean, that's silly. I mean, it depends on the situation. I think if you have kids, like, that should probably be your number one priority, shouldn't it? I don't know about having a job either. Like, I think it's more better for a wife. Like, if a woman wants to have her own income, she should probably have a business or something that she kind of manages. Something. I mean, there's so many ways to make money nowadays, you know? Like, I don't know about, a woman could be able to generate some income for herself without really pulling her away from her duties at home, you know? I think that's, especially, if it's a situation with kids. If they don't have kids, though, or the kids are grown, I don't see why a woman shouldn't get a job if she wants, pull in more income. Why not? I don't know what money should be off the table. Money isn't off the table. Money's a very important part of like managing your life. I don't understand what you mean by that. What do you mean by money should be off the table? You need money to live. Yeah, God provides for those who roll up their sleeves and work, though. God doesn't provide just for those who are like not taking advantage of the abundance he puts in front of us, and God uses us to, create wealth as well. No, Galahad, you're not really, that's some BS. That's not even like, exactly, Fred. Start eating them Bible verses. Like, what are you talking about? Money isn't everything. It's not, but you do need it. And you do need to be like realistic about it and sensible about it and not like have a pie in the sky attitude about it. All right, Galahad, that's a nice verse. I don't see how it I don't see how it reflects on what I'm talking about. And I mean, I think it also, it talks in Proverbs 31 about an industrious wife who starts her own business and pulls in more income, and like how she takes what her husband gives her and makes more with it. Like, I don't know what you mean exactly. Like, women can be industrious as well. But I mean, I don't even know. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm getting into these, like, I don't know if we're getting into a disagreement. Industrious isn't the word. Okay, give me a better one, or what you think is better. Well, Frederick, yeah, I know. It's like, and God also prospers those that work hard and earn a place, like people who take responsibility. There's few, it's most people don't, most people don't want that kind of responsibility on their shoulders. Yeah, virtuous. Well, that virtues. That's in virtue. Ugh. Yeah, well, being responsible and working hard is part of seeking the kingdom of God. So, nice talk. Interesting. My cat wants me to go. Hey, I'm wrapping up. Don't talk to me that way. Who are you talking to that way? Hey, 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 hey. Get your little butt over here. Come on. We don't disagree. Okay. I'm like, what? Are you like Bible thumping at me? Like we're disagreeing? I'm like, I don't think we're disagreeing. But then I'm like, is he thumping at me? Hey, I'm wrapping up. I know it's late. I know it's bedtime. You don't need to talk to me that way. Do you hear him? Do you hear him? How are you talking to me right now? Is that right? He gets jealous, He wants to get in bed. He wants to get in bed. And I do too. I need to retire for the evening and, undo myself and let myself be restful for another day tomorrow. But thank you for joining me today from the reading of this lovely book. It was fun. And I'll be back maybe tomorrow, maybe not. Tomorrow? Yeah, I might be back tomorrow. I think I can stay up a little late tomorrow, maybe. But not too much, okay? Do not say that about my cat. My cat is so pure of heart. No. Yeah. Thank you, Frederick. Okay, y'all. I gotta get myself to bed. Take care. Have a good night. I will be back again.